Kramer here. I'm just on my own today. I know that you guys were expecting Irma, but we'll definitely have her on another time. So I did want to talk about personal branding though, because I do think that that's, that is one of the things that's huge when it comes to not just having your own, not just if you're a business owner, but actually if you need yourself to be presentable and for people to look at you as a professional or an expert in your field. I keep going above the, the last time my hair kept going above the screen. So anyways, just in case I didn't mention, Rebecca Kramer here. I am the CEO of Loud Marketing. So I'm really great at helping business owners figure out the things that they don't know. So when it comes to personal branding, for example, representing your own brand on each of the different social platforms may mean that you actually have to create different personalities within your own self to be able to communicate. So for example, LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is definitely obviously a professional, very professional platform where you want to make sure that you're communicating very professionally on a regular basis. Maybe your profile or the way that you look or you appear will be different than Instagram, for example. Let me just see if I can take Erna on here. Erna, okay, Erna, I can hear you. We're on. So welcome, Erna Blooms. Erna, I was just getting started with people's brand, with people's own personal brand, discussing the fact that people do really need to, even for the different social media platforms, make sure that they're speaking in different tones of voice but maybe you can tell us about yourself, introduce yourself, and yeah, maybe you can talk a little bit more about that.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Erna, can you hear me?
Your voice for some reason is a little...
Okay, so I guess we're having some technical difficulties with Erna, no problem. So back to what I was saying about, so LinkedIn, you do really want to make sure that you have that set up so that your brand is very professional. But okay, so let's actually talk about each platform. So LinkedIn, I'll talk about my own self. So on LinkedIn, I have the persona of very professional. I know who my target audience is on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, for me, I reach out to, or they reach out to me, business owners, people in marketing, even students and people who are looking for jobs, salespeople. So I know that because that's my target audience, I'm gonna specifically talk about that demographic, or I'm gonna specifically target my tone of voice to that demographic. So I'm definitely not gonna make changes to. Sorry, one second here. So, okay, sorry. So tone of voice on LinkedIn, the way that I speak to someone on LinkedIn is very professional, and I always, want to make sure that that I'm representing myself very professionally. My tone of voice on Instagram, so those people, the people on Instagram that I'm connecting with, those are entrepreneurs, small business owners. Instagram is a little more fun and exciting and a little more casual, of course, than LinkedIn. So on Instagram, I know that my tone of voice can be a little more casual when I'm speaking. So I guess I should go back to saying specifically what tone of voice is. So when I talk about tone of voice, I the way that you speak. So for example, if I'm creating content on Instagram, it's going to be more like, hey, what's up? This is what I do. But if I'm communicating on LinkedIn, it might be, more, and here's instructions, this is how you do it, not necessarily more casual. Facebook as well is similar to Instagram. I would say it's not as casual as Instagram, but certainly there really is different tones of voices and even different ways that you can different things that you should be posting about on the different platforms. So when you think of your personal brand, you think about how you're going to communicate your brand across all of the different platforms, so that there's a synergy. You always want people to recognize just the same way that they would have your logo the same everywhere. You want people to recognize your brand and your personality on all of the different platforms. One thing that I think makes it a little bit easier is that on social media, you do have the opportunity to try things out. And if they don't work, or if you don't get a positive response, then for you to be able to make changes and react to that, it becomes a little easier. Post content that is in line with your brand. If it works, great. If there's opportunity to adjust or change or even reuse the knowledge that you might have from what you've done in the past. Certainly a great thing to follow. What was the other thing that I was going to mention about personal branding? So one of the things that I always talk about when I talk about social media and making sure that you are visible, but also that you're appearing as though you're an expert. So anytime that you're posting content, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on LinkedIn, wherever it might take place, certainly if you're posting content that's relevant to what you're doing for work or the goal of the post to connect with your audience so that they engage, the goal is always to appear as though you're an expert. So as soon as you start to appear as though you're an expert, people are more likely to view you as an expert. So then what happens is your sales cycle becomes shorter. Your sales cycle becomes much shorter. As soon as people know that you're the brand that they're familiar with, maybe you're interacting with them on all of the different social platforms, and on all of the different platforms, you're communicating the same message, maybe in a different tone of voice. The sales cycle or the close will become easier. The sales cycle will become shorter because you've already, the pitch that you've been doing all along is just demonstrating that you're an expert at what you do. Not necessarily that you have to actually tell them what you do, because they can see, they can view the content that you've posted on the different social platforms. They can understand your brand and your style and what you do and how you do it, all by how you represent yourself on social media. So from that perspective, one thing to mention when it does come to personal branding, that if there's a way that you could differentiate yourself, I would say that's another thing that's certainly important. So being able to differentiate yourself, your personal brand, what's different about you, what's unique about you, what can you focus on? Your personal brand. Okay, so my personal brand, I am a little bit different on Instagram than I am on LinkedIn. And you know what? I want to help people. I want to teach people. So you can see that on all of the different platforms. You can, if you look at my profile on Facebook, if you look at my profile on Instagram, if you look at my profile on LinkedIn, you're going to see continuity of branding throughout. You'll see slightly different personalities on all of the different platforms, but certainly there's opportunity to try to focus on what works best on each of the different social media platforms. Anyways, so I guess that's just a little bit about personal branding. It's too bad that we weren't able to get Erna. Erna had some technical difficulties there, but we'll be sure to get her on the next time. So yeah, appreciate everybody joining today, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. So just in case, just so that I don't forget, on Facebook, I do have a Facebook group that is Social Selling Growth Masters. So feel free to hop on there and join the group. And don't forget to like and share and follow if you found this of any value. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. See ya.